Ever Voices welcomes Dr. Shraddha, and we are talking about fertility treatments and
Yes, ma'am.
all the infertility issues that go with the totality of it. And let's continue. Welcome back, Dr. Shraddha. Now, we
Thank
were
you, ma'am.
talking about the cost of fertility treatment, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
There are some
Hmm.
women who go through, in spite of being able to afford, they give up the treatment halfway. When does that happen and why does it?
It does happen in the chronic cases, ma'am. Especially as I told ki TB. So genital TB is more prevalent in India. So genital TB, that's a silent TB. So
Okay.
they don't have any symptoms in between. They
Mhm.
just have infertility. Only endometrium is affected in those cases.
Okay. Okay.
Uteruscal uterine lining is affected in that cases, so we need to follow up the patient for 1 year after anti-tubercular therapy for 1 year, and every 2 months we need to call up for the endometrium evaluation.
Okay.
So we see most of the follow-ups in that cases.
Uh-huh.
Huh. And also any kind of fibroids,
Right.
so they have to try it. So any kind of surgery, impending surgeries, so we tell the patients to get the surgery done, but they have the dilemma that they have to undergo the surgery or not. So they take time for deciding for the surgery. So, and the third thing, there is some condition called hypogonadotropic hypogonadism. It's a like scientific term for the patients. So in that cases, the hormonal levels are very less. The
All right.
stimulating hormone levels are very less. So in that cases, we need to stimulate with high doses of stimulating hormones and for longer duration.
So the
So
body
and we
goes through a lot of
hmm,
stress, I mean, with the treatment and all that procedures that is included, you know, invasive procedures that affect them directly or indirectly. So at what point, I mean, when you see cases, you're meeting regularly with the client, with the patients, at what stage do they give up? And why do they give up? I mean, do they come to a point like, okay, after this, I'm not, they give up, like, okay, there's never going to be a child coming. Who decides this? Is it the doctor or the patient?
no, sometimes patients.
I'll,
So basically, the success rate of IVF is also only 60%. No, all over wherever you go,
Mhm.
all over the world, it's only 60%. It's not even 70% or 80%. If the company is if any hospital is claiming that it is like IVF success rate is 70%, it's not like that.
Okay.
So it's only 60%. 60 to 65% is world recorded IVF success rate. So in that thing, so 30% cases we are losing the hope.
I
So
see.
we have to spray them again, second cycle of IVF, third cycle of IVF, and there is something called recurrent implantation failure.
Okay.
So we have introduced embryo in the patient and it didn't implant.
Uh-huh.
So that might be any kind of causes. So we have to tell the patient that you have to undergo this test and or that test. What is the receptivity of the endometrium? So there are like many n number of tests we advise after IVF failure. So that in order to counsel the patient, it is like a very heavy task. Convincing the patient is also a very task. So, and one more thing, we have a counselor beside this IVF center, So ART will appoint a psychological counselor along with the doctor.
Right. Very
So to
important. It's
counsel,
very important because
but
every time they face failure,
hmm.
they have to
So,
go through this.
yeah,
Hmm.
all, uh, all the confidence will go. So they'll become very upset, and we have to convince them. At the same time, we have to see the OPD. So we have to give them like 30 minutes, 40 minutes of our time. So why did it happen? What are the flaws we have checked? So it's not like further at the first visit we don't advise all the tests. So in
Hmm.
the process of treatment, so in between the treatment, we will upgrade the tests.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, it is very hard for us to convince the patient and keep them in the loop. And one interesting thing is one injection, it's like we give like 10 to 15 injections for IVF cycle. So one injection is like 15,000 rupees,
Oh,
10 to 15,000 rupees.
okay.
So we get the representatives also for
Mhm.
lesser cost, but it's like 10 to 15,000.
So if IVF is only for the upper class or the well-to-do, what happens with women who cannot afford it? Is there a group which can supplement or pay for it so that everybody should be able to have a child? I mean, it's a basic thing that a woman.
They're right. Mm.
So is there any scope for that, or does any group provide for that? Like a set, okay, we'll give 2 lakh per IVF treatment for women from the uh, lower class or the from the poor segment, because I
So from
think this is now reserved for the upper class.
it's reserved for the upper class. I don't say no. It's like for the middle class, it is okay. So they
Hmm.
can take the treatment. 1 2 lakhs they can afford, but for the lower middle class or something lesser than lower middle class, they can take the insurance. So right now there are people Star Women insurance, and it is coming with different packages of IVF treatment. So that
Okay,
is very good. And even central government health scheme is providing this IVF support.
that's very good.
Only I have seen in CGHs,
Hmm.
and also health schemes and Star Health Insurance and ICIC Women. Only in these three schemes, I have seen women's fertility package included. I think many more group of insurance companies will come up with that. And coming to the poor people, so what we have done in our at our center is we took the medical representatives,
Hmm.
so who has given the injections for free, or sometimes they give for the clinical trials at least. So the samples which are unused, so we use for, them for that. So
Okay.
that's what we do. And because they are recombinant injections, so because and they are modified in the lab, so they are like very well maintained on the storage, and they have very strict conditions also. So we can't lesser their price or something, but we can help with the medical representatives and everything. So that's
Absolutely.
what we
I
did
think
and what I
creating a chain of uh, you know um, like caregivers can enhance this, and we can supplement the health system that is much needed in this sector, which is
yes.
sadly missing, because even if there is, people don't have enough knowledge to approach and seek support. So
Yes.
that actually hampers the whole procedure itself sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. So our next question is going to be, okay, when do you break or broach the topic of adoption, or do women opt for surrogacy on their own? I mean, it could be for various reasons, but what are your thoughts of surrogacy, and is it ethical? Is it needed? And because, see, on one side, the childless barren women get a child. The surrogate mother, she is, like womb is something very important for them, and they do it for the sake of money. Are they doing it happily, or what is their emotional state when you come across them?
So patient side or the person who is helping for the surrogacy
Yes, both
value.
sides. Both sides we have to see.
So from patient side, there are two main indications we
Hmm.
advise for the surrogacy. Ma'am, it's ethical and it is like legally
Allowed.
allowed. So that is first thing is like the conditions which are contraindicated for pregnancy. So patient is diagnosed with cardiac failure,
Yeah.
yeah, CAD. There is some cases of dilated cardiomyopathies.
Hmm.
So in that specific cases, and any aortic regurgitation, so there is something called condition called aortic regurgitation,
Hmm.
and any genetic disorders, Marfan syndromes. There are like many things. So
Yes.
in that cases, some cases we are like pregnancy is strictly contraindicated.
Okay.
So if they come to our OPD,
Hmm.
so that they want pregnancy. We can't induce pregnancy. If you induce the pregnancy in that patient, he'll be gone.
Yes, yes, that's true.
So it is like mortality. We are increasing the mortality. So we advise them ki you can have the option of surrogacy in that patients.
So now coming to the surrogate, what is her
Yeah.
emotional makeup, and how do you all create a list of surrogates? Is there a channel through which they come, and how are they compensated, and what is their emotional makeup when they have to give their baby and move away?
They have actually we this is all regulated by ART center, ma'am. So
Okay.
basically, ART will control authorize this all surrogate mothers and everything, and obviously compensation is provided for them, but
Hmm.
they are very well counseled first.
I see. Okay.
So, and we take the surrogates with at least one baby. So they have to. It's a very good condition that they have to have very one baby at least, and which is healthy baby, and then only we'll take the surrogate mother and we counsel her first.
Okay.
We counsel her that we are going to do this procedure, and we can compensate you with this, and it's very legal in India also.
Right.
We can take that, but we have to have medical condition from the mother side, biological mother side. Then
Right.
only we can take the approval.
Have you come across any case when a surrogate has refused to give up the baby after, but she
No,
cannot,
ma'am.
isn't it? Because they give a
No,
declaration and
it's ruled. It's regulated by
Hmm,
the ART body,
hmm,
and they tell ki no, it's not like baby cannot be withheld with the mother. They have to
uh,
allot them baby to the biological mother, and even in the birth certificates and everything, we will mention the biological mother only. We will not mention any surrogate mother in any kind of certificates or anything, and will not let the child know that she is the surrogate mother. So
right.
it's not it's not legal. So we
Okay.
have seen very good people. They can be the relatives of the mother also.
Right,
So
right.
biological mother, sister, or something. So
Yes,
she can bring her own surrogate,
right.
being counsel. In that cases, it depends on them.
True.
But legally, it is like it is authorized.
That's nice. So, what new advancements in fertility care are you most excited about in the coming years?
Yes, I'm very much excited in IVF only, ma'am. So IVF, so we are seeing this PGT, pre-implantation genetic screening. That
Mhm.
is very upcoming topic, and artificial intelligence also. It
Yes,
has drastically changed in
recently
like
a
one
child
two
is
years.
born with that, right? Child has been born with artificial intelligence, choosing the right
Embryos.
ovulation and embryo, right? Embryo.
Embryos.
Okay, that's
So earlier, what used to happen is embryologists used to stay with the embryo, and every minute,
hmm,
every day they used to watch.
hmm.
And right now, what has done is there is something called time lapse imaging.
Okay, okay.
Time lapse. So continuous monitor of embryo will be done.
Huh?
So exact, it can pick up very good embryo, like number one embryo to introduce into the patient. So
Oh,
without any human
error.
interference.
And also the margin of error also is reduced.
Yes, it is reduced. It
It
is
is reduced.
reduced. We
So
have seen that time lapse imaging.
So in this, I have a question here: is if a human were to choose the embryos, it could I mean, like, it could collapse, and then they have to again go back to choosing another one. This is how it the process
This
goes on. With AI, it is the AI will choose the right one, and then the success rate is assured
it
to.
is
And what percentage are you seeing the success rate
see,
with AI?
ma'am. Overall, like it is very percentages wise, it is very less, but it is helping the doctors in many more ways. So
So
it is like 65, only 3 to 4% it has the increase in success rate. But that 4% to 5% is also very important for us.
yes, very true.
And manpower is we are so time and any kind of thing. So it is helping the doctors as well.
That is
So
that.
in choosing the right embryo, and sometimes human errors can be occurred at the time of selection of the embryo. So this time lapse, it will not even go away for a minute also. It is a
Right, right.
continuous monitoring of the embryo. So each and every stage it can pick up. So
That's
continuously we can't look at the embryo like what is happening with the embryo, or every hour we can't monitor. It is like humanly it is impossible. So
correct.
time lapse is something which is helping the doctors a lot.
So, what is the cost difference between AI chosen embryo and human chosen embryos? Is there
So
a difference with cost, or is it all the same?
it's almost the same, ma'am. But time lapse imaging, we have to, this hospital has to purchase it. So probably it will be the burden on the patients also as well.
Definitely.
But I think that is for a short span of time. We
Okay.
can recollect the money within 1 year or something, but it can go back to normal.
So, how many hospitals have come up with in India? I mean, like on a ratio, like if you see, if you go by the statistics, how many hospitals in India would you say that it has already introduced this?
I think 10 to 20%. Only in Mumbai, Delhi,
Okay.
and Hyderabad, Bangalore, it's like upcoming.
Okay.
So not more than that. Only 10% hardly.
All right. So,
So,
next,
so basically, Europe is pioneer in this
yes.
time lapse, and
Yeah.
there is something called EFR in there,
Mm.
ESHRE.
Mm.
So European Human Reproductive Update. So it is very pioneer in all the world. Basically, it is very more advanced than America in
Oh.
this embryo selection and reproductive update. So main office is in Amsterdam.
So I think now whoever comes up with the best AI is going to have the best systems to develop, whether in any field, whether it's medical or any other field, we are going to see that there's going to be a race to own the best AI developed this thing, right? Yeah. Okay.
So even we have to update with that AI.
Yeah, definitely,
Definitely.
definitely, definitely. Because see, it may increase the cost initially, but as time progresses, we cut
Huh.
it, the margin of error comes down, and then the procedure invasion into the body, that also is reduced, and the success rates will go on increasing, and there's
Hmm.
more confidence in the system itself will develop when they use AI along with other procedures. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that answer. And our next question is, what changes, social, legal, or medical, do we need to better support women on their fertility journeys?
So from medical side, as I already told you, counseling part. So
Hmm.
counseling is like first we have to educate the patient. If we don't educate the patient, patient will never know,
Right.
and he won't. They won't be coming back. So what is the problem happening with them, and how we are going to deal with the problems? So basically, how we see the OPD is like if you see a patient, so one patient will be coming with like three four problems. We have to address all the problems, and we have to explain like what is happening in what.
Hmm.
So what is the problem, what is the defect happening with you, how can we correct it? So a whole procedure is to be explained to the patient. So that is the first thing from doctor side, and also considering the patients for the finance, I think so. What we so if we liberate our finances, so some kind of liberty
There
will
is
be
a lot
there.
of things. It is a very complex system because
Yeah.
like they want a house immediately. They want savings. Then they have the responsibility of taking care of families on either side, or and they are building their own careers. So one of them, or either of them, or both of them might be doing their master's degree. So all
Hmm.
these things eat into the cost.
Yes.
So unless the insurance comes up with a better plan, I think this will
Yes.
still
So I
remain
was
where
thinking
it
about
is,
that.
where we are seeing right now. It's not going to progress very fast. So coming to
Hmm.
our next question is the rise of designer babies, and what do you think about it? And because
So
nature is not creating, no, it's like we went from the fruits with seeds to seedless, isn't it? Now we are coming back to this. So do you think if we go to designer babies, what are the ethical aspects of it, and I would like you to explain more on that. And then would we come back to wanting a naturally all that comes with the baby's, genetic factors on both sides instead of choosing each and every aspect?
So, ma'am, it is not helpful for every child in the country. Matlab, so, it is not helpful for every couple,
Mm,
basically. So, the couple facing with the genetic disorders, it will be helpful. Definitely, it will be very helpful. So, there are many muscular conditions, many genetic conditions, chromosomal abnormalities coming right now. So, in we have to avoid it. Somehow, we have to avoid it. So, we can do just genome editing
mm,
that baby targeting that specific gene,
okay.
so that we
Not
can
not
do.
like not like okay, green eyes and then blonde hair and then
No,
this color
that,
skin.
that I don't think it is very
We have not
important.
we have not gone that far yet. Have we?
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
no. So genetic targeting is very important, so that basically the designer babies, that is okay. So for the green eyes and green hair, that is fine, but main use of that is for the prevention of disorders.
That is wonderful.
So for
So
the
now
disorders.
coming to the point of disorders, America is
Hmm,
facing a huge crisis of number of babies being born with autism.
hmm.
See, it's Asia ranks the lowest. And what could be the cause if America, such a developed nation, ranks high in autistic babies, and Asia being, poor countries are having less autistic children coming? Lifestyle factors is obvious thing on the scale
First
of what.
factor,
Mm,
so first factor I see is nutrition, ma'am.
mm,
I believe that our nutrition is very good, better
right.
than theirs, and
Mm.
the air quality also. I felt air quality is completely Asia. Okay, India is like ranked very badly in that air
I
pollution.
see.
That
See,
is,
we look at pollution like that, but
huh.
there are other things within the pollution aspect that can absorb it. You know, there when you see America on an expanse, their air quality is not bad at all. They don't have pollution. They don't have pollution,
And
but their diet is high fat, high gluten, and they eat a lot of junk. And one thing about Asian countries that I see where the difference comes in is when a woman is pregnant, we all have a very methodical approach to pregnancy apart from the medical aspect, which is sadly missing
exactly,
there. Which is,
exactly, ma'am.
hmm,
Yes, ma'am. And I have one more point also to support that. I don't know, like if I can, if I am supported to my Indian medical
you're the
services.
specialist here.
No, no, ma'am. So what I observed is, so American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology. So I'll be reading like many guidelines. So we read
Right,
many guidelines,
right,
ACOG,
hmm,
yeah, European guidelines, yeah, British guidelines. Most of the Indian guidelines are framed from the
right, right,
British guidelines.
hmm.
So, but according to our community, we manage the guidelines. We update the guidelines according to Indian perspective. So, I feel Indian doctors are more better than the American doctors
Absolutely,
in
absolutely.
evaluating the patient, in recognizing the disorder like very early at early stages, and also supplementing the what is required supplementation and iron supplementation, folic acid supplementation, and there are like minor factors, but earlier we detect, we can treat the cause of the disorder. So I think that is like very good practice is happening in India than US.
It's very important.
So that
Nutrition,
is what.
see, both should go hand in hand. Nutrition is
Hmm.
very important, and the nutrition that we take, like like we used to take saffron milk when we are pregnant, and then lot of
Our
dates,
older technique is also very
yeah, dates,
what
greens, and they eat less of vegetable and more of protein, which is meat protein maximum, and then the gluten itself doesn't give them all minerals and vitamins are not covered, and you can't get
hmm.
everything in capsule form, isn't it? So
So diet is also.
Very
important.
important. Diet is very important. Diet is
That
very,
is
very
very
important. Yes, yes. So thank you so much for joining, Doctor. Is there any last words that you would add to this? Because our next episode is going to be on your passion, your hobbies, your personal interest. We are not going to talk about all this. So
Sure.
before we conclude, your anything that you would like to add?
So I'd like to tell all women to meet their any at least gynec as early as possible if they are any facing any kind of problem in their house everyday lifestyles.
Hmm.
So if they have any heavy menstrual bleeding, if they have any kind of gynec problem, it's not like irregular periods or abdominal pain. So this don't wait for the right time to come. Just make the time right and visit the doctor.
Yes. Thank
So
you so
what I feel
much.
is, so many people, many Indian women especially, they will wait for a while. So
Yeah,
they will wait
until
for the.
until the see the body is giving a lot of subtle signals, and they
Hmm.
they neglect it, and until it really hits in some format. Like I have a friend, and she used to tell me that Vanita, I'm running a poultry farm. She has so many fibroids and cysts. Uh, like why do you wait until it is just growing like a garden?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Like when you
Fibroids.
get the first signal, you should just start working towards it.
Yes,
Then change your diet, change your lifestyle, so many things. And
yes, ma'am.
it
So
has
it's from the doctor side also. It is very easy to operate a smaller thing.
right, right,
Rather, we are going to say it is always obviously it is very difficult for us to operate a very big, huge cyst
mm,
or fibroids. So
right,
when they're smaller, it's very easy to access them. So
right.
it is very easy to operate on them. So always a bigger size, bigger risk.
True, very
So
true,
um,
true, very
so
true,
many people, Indian women, I see that they ignore their symptoms.
true. Because they don't understand. I think it's basically awareness is missing, understanding what is happening within them because no one tells them. If you feel
Yes,
like this, you have to see a doctor. So I think we need to come up with more awareness programs so that they can be alert. Thank you so much for this enlightening session with us. We'll be back
thank
soon. Ever Voices will be back with Dr. Shraddha. Please wait. We'll be back in a while. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you so much.